Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I wanted to make a video about modeling tips. I personally do not get paid to model. I do TFP shoots or trade shoots or whatever you want to call them. Basically, I just link up with photographers on Instagram and we meet up and shoot. I have two very close friends that both are wanting to get into modeling, and they both asked me for advice, tips, and were asking questions about the whole meeting up with photographer and how to get into like the TFP shoots and stuff. So I thought I'd just make this video. The first thing I really want to talk about is going on Instagram to find a photographer to work with. What I like to do is, say I live in Spokane, Washington, I would go to the search bar on Instagram and just type in Spokane and just look through all the pictures that are tagged in Spokane. You can find lots of photographers. They always usually tag their locations so that they can get more traction on Instagram. So that's what I like to do. And you can find so many good photographers through there, and also you can find other models that are in Spokane, and you can go through their pages and they'll usually post pictures with photographers and they'll tag them. Usually when you follow them, if they're interested, they'll DM you or they'll follow you back. One thing that's important to remember, that if you find a photographer on Instagram and you message them saying that you want to shoot with them, or that you're wondering if they're interested in doing a TFP shoot, you have to keep in mind that if you're going to the photographer, they're more likely to charge you or try to charge you for the shoot because they're not as interested as you are in the shoot. Not that they don't want to shoot with you, it's just that they're going to use that to their advantage, that you're wanting to shoot with them, so they're going to try to charge you. So usually, I personally wait until the photographer comes to me asking me to shoot. You'd think that everyone on Instagram would be real photographer-wise, but there's a lot of fake and gross guys out there. So what I like to do is, when I find a photographer that I really like on Instagram, I go through all of their pictures and I click on all of them and I go through all the tagged models in their photos, and I go to the models pages and make sure that they've at least posted a picture and tagged the same photographer in their pictures. As long as everything matches up, then I feel like it's good. And sometimes if a photographer seems a little sketchy, I'll reach out to models that they've worked with. Regardless if they're sketchy or not, I will reach out to models that are tagged in their photos and ask them how their experience went with the photographer, if it was good, if they were prompt, if they were respectful of boundaries, stuff like that. I just like to make sure that models have had good experiences, because if I get feedback that their shoot didn't go good, then I know that they're not someone that I want to work with. Once I'm messaging with a photographer, I always like to set my boundaries from the start. A lot of photographers do boudoir, which is lingerie type shoots. I don't do those. So I always like to set my boundaries and let them know from the start that I'm not comfortable with boudoir shoots or nude shoots, and I let them know that straight from the get-go. Even if they don't have it on their page, just let them know so that they know right away what I'm about. And most photographers, if they're good, will be totally cool with that and will not have a problem. The third thing I want to talk about is once you go to a shoot. If I'm working with a photographer for the first time, I always like to meet at like a public place or a space that's not like super secluded. If you don't feel comfortable, don't be afraid to say no. That's a big thing too. A lot of girls think that they have to say yes to every photographer that messages them, but you really don't have to if you don't feel comfortable at all. If you don't feel comfortable even in the slightest, don't do it, because even if you do the shoot anyways and you're a little uncomfortable, they won't turn out as good as they would if you were super comfortable. I always bring someone with you to the shoot. And even if you've shot with a photographer once or twice or 3 times, whatever it is, even if you think you know them, I would always bring someone with me. I really, really think it's important to bring someone with you. Not only is it important because there's someone there in case something, God forbid, bad happens, but there's also someone there that can put in their input on the photos. So say you're doing like a nude shoot, for example, there's someone there that can back you up if you're not comfortable doing certain things. So it's always nice to have a person with you, and I think that's really important. Regardless, it really doesn't matter as long as you just bring someone with you. When you are collaborating with a photographer on Instagram, it's really important to make sure that not one person is putting in more effort than the other. So if you're having to plan like your makeup, outfit, the creative idea for the whole shoot, and the photographer isn't really putting any effort or input in, then maybe you should try working with somebody else. It goes the other way too. So if the photographer is coming up with wardrobe, makeup, and the idea, I'd like to have some input in it. So I always let the photographer pick the concept and I stick to the makeup, hair, and wardrobe. I feel like that's a good way to split the creative input. If you are going to a shoot alone, which I know lots of girls go to shoots alone, I don't know, I just feel like it's so important to bring someone. But if you have to go alone, or if you feel more comfortable going alone, then I would say just make sure that you tell friends and family where you're going at what time so that they know exactly where you are. Like, even if I bring my boyfriend with me to a shoot, I always message my mom or a friend and say, hey, I'm going with my boyfriend to meet this photographer, here's his Instagram at this time, at this place, so that they know. I feel like that's really important, just for safety. One thing that I am horrible at, and I will admit it, it's just because I don't know, I just hate checking DMs on Instagram because I always get like creepy and weird DMs, so I just try to avoid my DMs. But I think it's very important to check your DMs and make sure that you're replying to photographers in a prompt manner, because you know, if you take a week to reply to them, they're not going to want to shoot with you anymore. And I've experienced that where I don't reply for like a week or two, and then they just never get back to me by the time I get back to them because I didn't prioritize getting back to them. So if you're really serious about modeling and meeting up with photographers, I'd say be as prompt and get back to them as soon as you possibly can. I tend to just get on Instagram, scroll a little bit, post something. I go and check like my friends' posts and stuff, but I usually don't check my DMs, and I don't really go through and scroll through everything on my feed. So I'm not really on Instagram a lot, and it looks like I'm on it a lot because I post a lot, but usually when I post a picture on Instagram, I just post it and then I put my phone away. That makes it hard to get back to people because I don't prioritize it. So if this is something that's really important to you, I'd say prioritize it. If you're wanting to shoot all the time and you're wanting to do modeling, I definitely put in your bio on Instagram that you're a model, an aspiring model, a freelance model, something like that, so that when photographers stumble upon your page, they'll be more likely to message you and ask you to do a shoot. I used to have that I was a freelance model in my bio, and I'd get a lot of messages from photographers wanting to shoot, and I'd follow a lot of photographers, so I was getting a lot of DMs and opportunities to do photo shoots. But now I've taken that out because I don't really have the time to do them that much anymore, and I haven't got as many DMs. So I think that if you are wanting to do modeling, you should definitely sell yourself as a model. I'd also include like your email so that they can message you on Instagram, or they can even email you. Instead of having one way that they can get a hold of you, there's two ways. A big thing that doesn't even have to do with Instagram, but has a big thing to do with modeling, is that you need to be confident and secure with yourself and who you are before you even think about modeling. You need to make sure that you are as confident as you can be before going into modeling, because if you go into modeling having a low self-esteem, as I did, you will just get put down, and you'll let those words get to you, and it'll just take a toll on your mental health. So I think it's really important to be really secure. Right now, I'm pretty secure in myself, and I'm not as insecure as I used to be. So I feel like now would be a good time for me to model again because I feel completely confident in who I am and I'm not afraid of that anymore. I just want to put this out there that there are a lot of photographers on Instagram that have tons of followers. Just because a photographer has a lot of followers and works with famous models or whatever, it doesn't mean that they're good or a reliable person. You just always need to be careful and aware that you don't know who these people are. I've had multiple photographers that I've looked up to and have aspired to shoot with, and I've seen their photos on Instagram and I've been like, oh my god, they have so many followers, they're working with this model and this model, and oh my god, they're so good, their pictures are so beautiful. And then they'll send me a creepy message or something way out of line, and I just wanted to put it out there. That's not okay. It's not normal. There are photographers that are respectful, and this is their art and this is their job, and those are the people that you want to work with. And just because they're famous, a famous photographer or whatever, doesn't mean that you have to listen to them, doesn't mean that you have to shoot with them, and it doesn't mean that they're higher or better than you. I just think that it's crazy that people that I look up to have like been disrespectful to me. It's really bizarre. So I feel like that was a really negative tangent I just went on, but I just want to say that although there's things to be aware of and to be careful about and whatnot, that modeling is so much fun, and getting the photos afterwards can be really exciting. And I don't want to discourage anyone from doing modeling. I just wanted to let you guys know the truth, because you often look at the pictures that people post and you're like, I want to do that, looks like fun, oh my god, they look pretty, those are pretty pictures, you know. I've been there, I get it, and I just wanted to let everyone know that it's not rainbows and butterflies all the time, and that there are certain things that are not okay. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone's aware of that before they get into it, because no one told me these things, and they would have really been helpful to know before I got into trade modeling, TFP modeling. It's easier when you are signed to an agency because all of the shoots go to your manager or whatever, and it's just easier to like weed out the nasty photographers. But when you don't have an agency and you're just doing this on your own and you're freelancing, it's kind of hard it can be hard at the beginning. So I just wanted to make this video for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned some important things, and I hope that you can take these and go take some awesome pictures and link up with some amazing photographers, because that's what I want you guys all to do. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a like down below, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post. I post every single Saturday, and I will see you guys next Saturday. Love you, bye!